Welcome to the program. There is the People's Bench coming to you from Muthu Silver Springs Hotel here in Nairobi. For much more, you can scan the QR code right on your screen and you'll be able to find more about Muthu Silver Springs Hotel. I am your host, Fred Ogweno, and tonight we are talking about matters Gen Zs in Tanzania. They have scared everyone in Tanzania, and the president is blaming the foreigners. And some are saying that they were influenced by the Gen Zs from Kenya. Whether this is true or not, we are here to talk about it. I'm privileged to have none other than Faith Ken. She is a youth advocate, and she's been there at the forefront advocating for the rights of young people and good governance. We are here with her to talk about it. How are you, Faith?
I'm good, Fred. How are
Karibu
you?
sana.
Thank you for having me again.
Welcome back to the bench.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure having you.
I'm honored.
Yes. Straight to the point. Nyinyi watu mumeambukiza Gen Z wa TZ hii kitu.
They are good students. Yeah, they are very good students. Na ni wanafunzi, I wish I could speak in their Swahili. Yeah, but they're very good students and they are doing well. They've done well so far.
Tanzanian Gen Zs have done well, and the president is scared, saying that you Kenyans, you influenced them.
I think, is that the Gen Z's problem or the president's problem? And if we go back, I think, let us try and do a comparison between how Tanzanians found themselves where they are right now. And if you go back to how Kenyans also found themselves in 2024 Gen Z protest, there were signs. There were signs that there was a protest coming. And before going to the streets, they sent a warning. You know what? We are tired. We are frustrated. We are unemployed. We are very idle. You know, we need change. We need this and this to be done. Like they said, they mention it in black and white. But the president or the people concerned didn't give too much eye on it. Instead of translating the youth aggression into policy defined, they took it as noise. So that is what happened in Tanzania. When activists from Kenya crossed to Tanzania, you see the likes of Martha Karua were deported right from the airport. Immediately they landed, they were returned back to Kenya. Boniface Mwangi was even tortured. A very sad story happened in Tanzania when they tried to speak up for the oppression that was going on there. So, and you heard the president of Tanzania saying very well that watu wameharibu huko kwao, sisi hatutawakubalia wakuje wavuruge wapi?
Alisema kwa jirani kuna chomeka.
You know, na jirani anaongea tu kwa giza. That is what she used to say. So their Gen Z also, they held their concerns and they tried to air them. But because I feel it has not been, it's something that they were not familiar with. You see, it's something that they thought it was just noise, lumali, and the mindset that kids are supposed to listen and take direction from elders. You know, the kids' voices are not supposed to be listened to. So I think that is what now led Tanzania to where they are right now.
I hear you. This thing of the young people being leaders of tomorrow.
It's good that you put it that way, the leaders of tomorrow. That is what we were being told. You are the leaders of tomorrow. But now we don't know the timelines because I started hearing that word in high school.
Oh my.
Till today, I'm still hearing about that
Tomorrow
word.
is here to come.
We are still leaders of tomorrow. And and maybe even in the next 5, you'll still be told you're the leaders of tomorrow. So we don't know when this tomorrow is coming. And that is why now the youths are coming out and saying, and actually they're now woken up and realize that is not tomorrow. Because today you are 18 and tomorrow you wake up 10 years ago and you're 28. So the youths have realized that if we don't do it right now, there is no tomorrow, and we can't talk about tomorrow without fixing the now. That is why we are talking about systems, we're talking about accountability, we're talking about equality. We are talking about the youths being brought into decision making. Previously, you could hear a ministry that has a whole name, Ministry of Youth and all, but the one leading that ministry is not a youth or close to a youth per the standards of most of our African countries. The standard is that at 40s you're still a youth. I think so.
Faith,
Yeah.
tell me, Tanzania of all the countries, nobody expected this. Nobody saw this coming. For a very long time, people thought wale ni watu wapole tu wako. But look at what they were able to do on the streets until it took the global attention, of everyone globally.
So, and I think what is happening in Tanzania, it's just a wake-up call to all African countries, because right now 70% of the population of all the African countries are youth. And so what is happening in Tanzania, it's just it's just a matter of time before it happens in Uganda or any other country. Because in Africa, most of the problems are very similar. What is the challenges we're facing in Kenya are the ones in Tanzania, in Uganda, and across Africa. So I feel it was just Tanzanians' time, and they were like, if Kenya did it, and they saw cabinet reshuffling, they saw the president coming down to engage the youth, they saw the president putting in the actual work, fulfilling his manifestos now, they saw, even our leaders now trying to be accountable and more engaging when it comes to the young people and to the citizens. So I think they're like, if Kenyan did it, we can also do it on this side.
And they did it better.
They did it better. And to even make it worse, the president had to shut down media, which is, why are we not welcoming criticism? Why are we not welcoming criticism? So that is another problem. You try to speak, they shut down the media, they kill some of you. So yeah, I hope one time the whole Africa will reach a point where you can protest freely, you can picket freely without police tear gassing you, without people being killed, without others disappearing.
It seems like the use of guns alone is not enough. It seems like shutting down the internet and the TVs is not enough, because the government of Tanzania did it, but still these young people were able to come, even defy the curfew. They were able to get out in their big numbers.
There is a say that goes, I don't know if I can tell it very well, but if the time has come, nobody can stop it. In Bangladesh, they also tried to shut down media, but they found out another app that they were mobilizing through, you get? So nobody can stop something that its time has come. And now for Tanzania, nothing could stop them, because they were out in numbers, and we've realized that the secret is numbers, siri ni numbers. Ni tutoke, hawawezi uwa wote, na tukiuliwa hata wengine, at least tutakuwa tumepigania nini? Wenye wako nyuma. So yeah, nothing can stop. I feel when the citizens are frustrated to a point where they can't take the frustration anymore, they just go all out. Because now if the larger demography is the youth, we are the ones affected firsthand with unemployment, with corruption, with, you've gone to school but you can't work anywhere because there are no jobs. You are creative, but there is no platform to practice your creativity. So you end up being frustrated for because of systems that are not working, the systems that are supposed to work for you but are not working. So it reaches a point where the youth says, we can no longer take this anymore, and we find a way to change the system which is going on the streets. Let us do it.
How Kenyans youth were able to stand, or Kenyan Gen Z were able to stand in solidarity with their counterparts in TZ. Look the way they were sharing those photos, doing updates, because they knew very well that things were been shut down in TZ. What did you say about that?
Our East African anthem, there's a part that says, Jumuiya yetu tuilinde. So it's the whole Jumuiya.
Mukajumuika.
It's the whole Jumuiya. So tunalinda Jumuiya yote.
Yeah, East Africa.
It's
your business.
It's our business. Actually, if something is happening in Kenya, it's Tanzanians' business. If it's happening in Tanzania, it's equally our business, because there's so much going on between Kenya and Tanzania and the neighboring countries. So if one country is experiencing something, then we are equally affected. Like personally, my grandmother is from Tanzania. all her people are in Tanzania, and for all those days we couldn't communicate because there was no internet, you get. So what goes on in the Jumuiya, it affects all of us. And we have to be part of the Jumuiya. You get.
And you must have scared the old man in Uganda.
I think it's also his time. It's also his time. But the problem, the wrong thing that Kenyans were doing is now crossing to the border. That was a very wrong mistake. We should respect laws of other countries. The democracy that we have in Kenya, it's not what is there. You will go to another country, get shot or killed there, and that will be on you. So we should respect other people's law. Going to the borders, you can just show support from where you are, but don't
cross it.
with the keyboard. Just be a warrior on your phone, wherever you are, but don't cross to the borders. That is very risky for you.
And Tanzania will never remain the same again. I tell you, after what happened.
I think now that the youth are awake, because if you see even the Tanzanian parliament, do you even have a youth in the parliament? They don't. Most of the MPs actually are not even, okay, this might sound as a speech, but most of them are not educated.
There is the people's bench. You just say it.
You say the MPs, we have so many young people who are educated in Tanzania, but if you see the people who are sitting in the parliament, they're not the face that should be there. So it's a good thing that finally the Jumuiya is woke, and we can actually say this is what we want in our country, this is how it's supposed to do, and we have a plan. Yeah.
I hear you. And some people are saying that utawala wa mama maybe would have been a bit better as compared to these big men, ruling Africa. But it even turned out to be worse when people were thinking that a mother would have sympathy. Look at the number of deaths that are being reported there. Others, some figures putting it to be over 700. We don't even know because they were in the dark.
Now, on that, there is a reason why we champion for equality. If you're talking about Tanzania and the president, let us talk about as a leader, not as a woman or as a man.
What men can do, women can do better.
Yes, but
including dictatorship.
I know, because we've had leaders like Idi Amin Dada. We've had leaders like Gaddafi. We've had leaders like Museveni currently. And that has never made us, lose it when it comes to men's leadership. We still give men chance to lead. Why is it that when it's one woman's mistake, then it passes out as a gender problem? We have women in Croatia. The president of Croatia is a woman, and she's equally doing a very good job. We have the president of Namibia, who is a woman. Even the vice president of Uganda is a woman, even though she's not well known. So we should view Samia as a leader, not as a woman. So if you're going to judge her for her leadership, let us judge her based on her being a leader and the president, not being a woman, right? Yeah, being a woman shouldn't be a qualification. Yeah, we shouldn't use a woman as a qualification. So let us view her as a woman. So if you're saying, wamama wafai kuwa katika uongozi kwa sababu Samia amefanya hivi na hivi, hapana. Tumekuwa na wanaume who are doing very poorly in leadership, and we still give men chance. We haven't lost hope in men leadership. So hata wamama tuwapatie ni chance.
Thank you very much. We are cruising back, and before we come back home to Kenya, allow me to remind you to subscribe on the YouTube to the YouTube channel at the People's Bench, so that anytime we have this kind of conversation, you will always be able to find the notification to enjoy them. Let us shift gears a bit back home. We lost the Right Honorable, the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. I know you've not been on this seat ever since it happened. What do you have to say?
May his soul rest in peace, and to the family, the friends, the people of Kenya, the African, the continent as a whole, it was a very shocking and unfortunate thing. Yeah, to me, Raila was immortal. Like, I never thought Raila would die. Okay, I knew at some point he will die, but I've never imagined a scenario where Raila is normal. Like, we don't have Raila. Like, there is Kenyan politics and Raila is not in the picture. So it's sad, and I hope it's all rest in peace.
Thank you very much. And when you look at the kind of love that people gave him, and how they were able to come out in their big numbers, humongous numbers, right from JKIA all the way to Uhuru Park, to Kasarani, and what happened at Nyayo, all the way to the final day, the day of his burial. What would you say, such kind of love that has never been witnessed before for a single man who fought for this country?
I think it's legacy. Yeah, Baba left a very great legacy that everyone in this country looks up to Baba. Yeah, at some point, you reached a point where you asked yourself, I wish I shook hands with Baba. I wish I had a conversation with Baba. I wish I had just even 5 minutes to listen to Baba, his journey in politics. And like Baba was a father, he was a leader. It was so many things to people, to everyone. Everyone has a story. Even apart from now, the individual, even Kenya has a story. Kenya has so many things to say about Raila. Kenya has so many good things to say about Raila. So that is why the love was there. And I'm so glad that people really stood out to show him love even in death. And even right now, people are still traveling to Opoda to just say goodbye to Bab. Yeah.
It's like people were never given enough time to mourn. That's why we are seeing all roads are still leading to Bondo, to Opoda farm.
It was a spy wish. Yeah, that was now beyond our people's control or the family's control. So yeah, his wish was granted, and that is all people could do.
Some people were saying, particularly the Gen Zs, kwamba baba ndiye alikuwa anashikilia Ruto, kwamba akitoka tu hivi lazima tutamtingiza kidogo. Sasa baba yuko.
But Ruto is still standing.
Maybe they might go for him.
Ruto
back to the streets.
You guys forget that Ruto contested for presidency with Raila on the ballot. And he won. So it's not like Raila and alikuwa amemshikilia. Okay, Raila was a very integral person in Ruto's government, and he really stood out with the president when now the Gen Z's time came out. And that was so bold of Raila, because if it would have been another person, I think they would have served their interest first. But Raila stood for the interest of the country. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, it was a great move, but Ruto will still remain Ruto. Is not also a man, the way we say in Luo. Yes. Yeah, Ruto is also a great son of the soul, and you know his game. Yeah.
You know what he's capable of doing?
What do you mean?
When it comes to issues, politics.
Yeah. He's also a smart man, obviously. And Ruto will survive because the president is really trying so hard to work for the country. He's really trying to make amends. He's really trying to deliver to the country. It's trying to include the youth in its programs. It's trying so much to come up with support to the youth, even if there's still no proper employment. But he's really trying. He's really putting himself out there trying. Yeah.
How is he trying when the lecturers have not been out of class for more than a month? When we keep on seeing doctors strike, when there is not enough capitation being sent to schools, how is he trying?
Okay, for the lecturers, I think the lecturers need to be paid. Yeah, that one the president should work on a plan, because education should be a priority. Education, health should be priority in the country. So the president should work on a plan to pay the lecturers. And he actually I know he's working on a plan. Even the other day, the CS for Treasury said very well that the lecturers will be paid, only that they refuse to be paid in faces, which they are also right in their own way, because just like they said, education is not being disseminated in faces. So on that, the government should work on a plan on paying the lecturers so that the children can get done with their studies. And them being out will create more problems, because now after this, the help that was supposed to serve them for that time, it's finished. So they also need help to go back again to school after the lecturers have been paid.
2024, 2025, the Gen Z in Kenya took to the streets. They were trying to send President William Ruto home. Of course, it started as reject finance bill, but later on it mutated and metamorphosized into something else. We are heading to 2027. Do you think the Gen Z are still having that resolve to send President William Ruto home?
Who will send the president home?
Tell me.
The president will go for another second time.
Say President Ruto.
President Ruto will go for another second term. It's 2 term.
How can you be sure about that?
I'm sure because the president is putting in the work. If you want to remove the president from that seat, what are you doing differently to get him out of that seat? You get? And ukipita wapi? And just like the president when he was in, I think it's Bugoma, he said something that Raila was the only man who could, give him a run. The remaining guys no. So the president will be there. And if the Gen Zs really wanted to remove the president from that seat, sai kuna kura, tunachukua kura, you can see the turnout. It's very low. It's very low. The turnout is very low. So how are they planning to take the president home?
And it is worrying. Elections are not done on the streets. Neither are they done through keyboard. They are done on the ballots.
Yeah.
But these people don't want to go and register as voters.
So I think what the Gen Z should now do is that instead of saying, why do we want the president to go, first of all? Why do you want to send the president home? If our problem is the systems, why don't we focus on occupying the systems? Because if the president goes, is our problem the president or the system? For example, what I'm talking about is we have members of parliament. Some have gone for the second or third terms right now. And for 2 terms, for 10 years, and you can't see roads, you can't see, bursaries, you can't see things getting done there. Is that a Ruto's problem or your MP's problem? If Ruto is gone in 2027, and then you take your MP back, right? So you'll have a new face on the head, but the same problem.
And they want to remove him, but look at who is standing by the door. Rigiji, Kalonzo, look at Matiang'i, and these others, standing by the door. If you look at them, do you find anybody better than William Ruto?
No.
Why?
You know very well. You know the guys.
I don't know. Kalonzo.
You know the guys are talking about.
Man Steve-O.
You know the guys are talking about. Kalonzo cannot.
Why? But he has the Kamba and is working together with Rigiji, with the mountain, working together.
Okay, so it's the mountain that will vote out President Ruto.
But that is what they are saying.
No, we have how many communities in Kenya? If you're going to go to vote per community, how many regions? 7 regions. In the 7 regions, then you want to tell me you're focusing on Machakos, Kitui, and so how are you going to do that?
So, Faith, are you telling me that things are going to remain the same? That even after the efforts that the young people made on the street, that their blood are not going to make any difference? That we are going to see these old people continue ruling on us?
What I want to tell the young people is that we should define our problems. We should define our fight and our war, right? So if our problem is the systems, let us go for the systems. We have so many young people who are very passionate about leadership and change and good things. Let us go back to those ones. Start tuanze kurekebisha system, starting from the grassroots. Toa huyo MCA, toa huyo MP, toa huyo governor. Tukikuja tukipanda juu. That is how tutasema change. Because nowadays, even in our counties, we have governors. In one county, you have a governor, you have a speaker, you have chief officers, those are how many positions, right? So let us start with the systems. Do we even know how much goes to our counties per year? And how is this money spent? So let us define our problems, let us define what we want to happen. But if we focus on the man on the top, tunataka kutoa president akitoka, it will be still the same system. It will still be the same systems. Yeah.
So changing the president is not the solution?
It's not the solution.
I hear you, Faith. Looking at the conversation online, even as we are winding up, the talk, Gen Zs have retreated back to their ethnic cocoons. The Luos are speaking the Luo political language, same to Kikuyus, same to Kambas. You look at that kind of hatred coming back. This is a generation that knew no ethnic balkanization. They said that we are tribeless. They said that they are leaderless. They said that everything less. But it's like now everything has come back.
Yeah.
They are no longer tribeless. They're full of tribe.
We are not any different from, we're not a special generation the way we thought. We've never been special. We are not special compared to other generations. And now what we forget is that whatever we are trying to do right now, it's not new. These are the things that the late, sorry to call the Raila the late now, it feels so off. They did it. They did it during their time. They also had the same energy. They had these ideologies, They also wanted things to be done differently, and they did it. So we are not any special. So that is why I'm saying, let us define our problems. If we don't define them, then we will be all over, and then at the end of the time, we're just exhausted and we haven't achieved anything.
Thank you very much.
So it's a good thing that now the young people are viewing it that way, and I feel now is the time that the young people from Nyanza, I think we've been so much into kuinuliwa mikono and, who says who to do, So it's time now, the young people now to start now also coming out to vie. Yeah. It's time now to, and now just to encourage also our community, it's time now to view people as them, not as party. Right? If I'm voting for Fred, it's for Fred because I've listened to your manifestos. I know who you are, I know your background and all. So this is why I should vote for you. It's not because tumiambiwa ni Fred and then it becomes Fred. Yeah.
So it's not about nani anajua mwenye party,
no.
Nani akuna ticket.
It shouldn't be
and
that
you're encouraging young people to come out, in their big numbers.
It shouldn't have been that way even in the first place, but now it had already happened. I think it's now there's so many things happening in Nyanza at a go. It's a good time that the youth wajitokeza and also support the young people already there. The young ones who are also like the likes of Babu Wino, the likes of, the young people who are there already. We support them. Alafu, it's the time also to gauge our leaders based on what they have done for us. Because now that the leader is gone, you've been a governor. What have you done during the time you were governor? You are a CS. What have you done during that time? We have CSS in Nyanza. We have PSS in Nyanza, but we don't even see many of them working for us. So it's time. I think most of people for the leaders in Nyanza, we can mention a few who are actually doing something for the people of Nyanza, the likes of Raymond Omolo. So I think it's time we question you. Umefanya nini for during this time that you were leader? When you're coming back to ask for votes, it's not because I was helping Baba up there. That is what they were saying.
Now Baba is not there.
Now Baba is not
unless
there.
Unataka kwenda kumsaidia Sayun.
Unless you want to go to Sayun yourself to help him there and negotiate with Jesus and God. So it's time you tell us, what have you done during the time you were so and so. This is not now. We don't want PR now. Time imeisha ya shows and all. So let us now start viewing people based on what they have done. That is when we give you space to talk.
And Baba's political orphans, those who were too close to him, those who used to wield a lot of power, their words were like law. If they said you are getting this, you either got it or you did not get it. What is their fate now that they have to face the electorate?
I can't really decide on their fate, but I think it's now time everyone to put in the work. We've had leaders who during that time I feel people loved Baba. The people of Nyanza loved Baba. And they could tolerate Baba. But now Baba is not there. You should now face the people. Yeah. Face the people with your work.
But Uburu is there now.
He is not Baba.
He's the party leader. He's taken over from his brother.
Unless it's I don't want to go that direction, but no, it's now time. I feel we should stop now viewing people from Baba amesema, nani amesema, now we start umefanya nini, if at all we want progress in Nyanza.
What do you think about the future of ODM in Luoland?
I can't really say anything about ODM because I'm not a member of their party.
Okay. But there is definitely going to be, the political space is going to open up.
Yeah, the political space is going to open up. There are going to be groupings, regroupings, Yeah.
Thank you very much. And that is all that we had time for. Having a candid conversation with Faith Ken, who is a youth advocate, and she says it the way it is. I've been your host, Fred Ogweno, coming to you from Muthu Silver Springs Hotel. Until next time, when we get such a good time, even to continue with this conversation, because we have to talk. Thank you very much, Faith, for creating time.
You're welcome.
We do this again when we get time.
All right.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.